there you are, YouTube. Do. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. If you hear a dull roar, sorry, the dryer is going. That's what that noise is. A couple things. Let's see, what do I want to talk about? Probably the Oscars, Oscar-related things. I think what we might do today is a random ranking of Best Picture winners, or maybe just talk about the Best Picture winners again. That was kind of fun to do. But today I did finally watch A Complete Unknown with Timothée Chalamet, directed by James Mangold. I got a mustache right there. I got to get that out. There we go. Which is cool because he directed Walk the Line, and Johnny Cash is in this movie, and guess who plays him? Joaquin Phoenix. Can you believe it? Just kidding, but wouldn't have that been awesome if Joaquin Phoenix reprised the role here in A Complete Unknown? If he was Johnny Cash all over again, that would have been cool. But yeah, Timothée Chalamet, I think he did good. I like the moments where he does not care, and he's just like low energy and very... when he's playing Bob Dylan anyway. Like, Bob Dylan's just kind of like low energy in a lot of scenes early on. You're like, I love you. And he's like, oh, thanks. It's just kind of funny. But yeah, I used to listen to a lot of Bob Dylan back when I was in college. And don't really so much anymore today, but it was cool to revisit a lot of those songs. I think I probably did listen to the more folky stuff. I don't know, everything in the movie is kind of what I listened to, I guess, and maybe a few other songs that were missing. But I did get a chance to see Bob Dylan. It was a show with the openers were Amos Lee, and then Merle Haggard followed, and then the show ended with Bob Dylan. This was in Chicago back in, I don't know, probably the 2000s. I think. I don't think it was after 20. Yeah, so the 2000s this would have happened. Went with some buddies, and it was one of the worst shows I've ever been to. Bob Dylan played piano the whole time. There were some guitars over there on the rack, and I was expecting him to walk over there and pick up one of the guitars and start playing, and he never did. And yeah, I couldn't understand him. He dropped his harmonica and then started crawling around on the floor trying to find it. It was very unique in that. I thought that was kind of cool to see that, him crawling around on the floor trying to find the harmonica that he dropped. All Along the Watchtower was about the only song that I knew of his that he played, but it was barely recognizable. Yeah, I didn't like it, but I can still say I saw Bob Dylan and Merle Haggard. I really enjoyed the Merle Haggard and the Amos Lee. That was really good. But a funny thing was, at the end of the show, somebody came out on stage and she was like, Bob Dylan and Merle Haggard are going to go out for some drinks after the show, and if you see them out, you know, just give them their space, leave them alone, you know, try not to bother them, let them enjoy their evening or their night or whatever. And I thought that was interesting. I was like, this is the entire, we're in the entire city of Chicago. Like, I don't know, maybe people were going to wait outside the bus and figure it out. It's like, you know, you're not talking to the entire city of Chicago. You're just talking to the people here in the room. But maybe people were going to follow them to wherever they were going. It was really strange. But yeah, it was, I don't know, I didn't like the show. He just played piano the whole time. I couldn't understand him. Not that you ever really can, right? But I don't know. It was cool. I mean, it was cool that I got to see him, and it was a unique experience, and I'll always cherish that. But hey, let's do, I don't know, do I do a random ranking, or do we just talk about movies a little bit? Let's do that. Let's talk about movies. All right, so I think we'll start on this end. Wings, right here, first. Best Picture winner, and the only silent film to ever win, unless you count, here we go, unless you count, where is it? There it is. Unless you count The Artist as a silent film. Do you still count it as a silent film when it's done sort of like as a gimmick? And then at the end, we do get a little bit of sound. We can hear them breathing at the end. Spoiler alert. But otherwise, Wings is our first Best Picture winner and the only silent film right there. Take a look at that. There we go with that cover. Look at Clara right there. And then Broadway Melody, one of my favorites, actually. It's probably in my top 20 Best Picture winners, and what I like about it is that it's just a simple story. It's a sister act, and they are just trying to make it in the world. And also, I think when I first saw it, I really developed a crush on her right there. Gosh, what's her name? Something Love. Bella Love. Bessie Love right there. Yeah, I just sort of, I don't know. I just had a crush on her when I saw it. Then we have All Quiet, very emotional film right there. Cimarron, often considered the worst Best Picture winner of all time. It's interesting. You can tell that the actors in this are holdovers from the silent era, like the way this dude right here, what's his name? Something Dix, I think, or Cox. It's either Dix or Cox. Richard Cox. That was it. Richard Dix. His name is Dick Dix. But anyway, you can tell, like, that guy, he was like living it up in the silent era. Look at his eyes even. He's wearing that eyeliner of that silent era, but he was just like moving around like a silent film actor. Here, does anyone else think Joan Crawford in this movie, and maybe this movie alone, looks like Dana Scully, Gillian Anderson? I kind of get that vibe in this movie. I don't think I always feel that way about Joan, but I do feel that way in this film. Oh, you think Titanic is the first Best Picture winner to be about the Titanic? Sorry, you must not have seen Cavalcade. Not really about the Titanic, but it is featured. Hey, what's up, Doc? Right there. Inspo for Bugs Bunny. You found it. You found it right there. Anytime you see somebody trying to catch a ride by pulling up their skirt a little bit, you have her to thank right there. Mutiny on the Bounty. There are so many versions of this. There's like one with Mel Gibson that I watched. There was one with one of the greatest actors of all time. Why can't I think of his name? This happened to me already before on another video. You know, this dude right here, Marlon Brando. My gosh, why couldn't I think of that? But yeah, a lot of those. Great Ziegfeld. My goodness, that's a difficult watch. It is just so long, some cool production design, but it's almost like they're trying to show you like a stage show instead of a movie a lot of the time. Emile Zola is kind of interesting, but at the same time, like, you're like, Emile Zola, who? You know, like, why do we have a movie about him? He's just kind of a forgotten person. But, you know, that's what's cool also about Best Picture winners. They are a look at what people thought were important at the time, or maybe the culture at the time, or maybe a counterculture at the time. Can't take it with you. Just a sweet story about you can't take money with you when you die. Gone with the Wind, that one is super famous. Major, big deal film right there. And also, let me make sure I'm right on this, the first color film to win Best Picture. Rebecca, this is a Hitchcock here. He did not win director, though. He did get Best Picture, but his movie did, but he did not get director. Oh, you like Citizen Kane? Well, how do you feel about How Green Was My Valley? Because this is the winner. This is a piece of American propaganda right here, Miss Miniver, just like positive, Americana and like British, stuff. Casablanca, classic, everybody knows it. Going My Way, with a little bit of Bing Crosby. The Lost Weekend is showing you the struggles of alcoholism, and there's some hallucinations in there with a bat. Best Years of Our Lives, great film right there. And an actual vet from the war won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for that film. Let's see, we have Gentleman's Agreement, good film there. And then Hamlet, good. This is Laurence Olivier's Hamlet, by the way. This has some great cinematography in it. Then we have All the King's Men. Should I just go through all of these? I'm kind of doing that. All the King's Men right here. This was remade with Sean Penn in the role right there. I think Jude Law was also in it. Not as good. I think I like this one more. But it's very general, and you kind of know where everything's going. All About Eve, classic, An American in Paris. I like the sets and stuff. It's really nice. This influenced Spielberg. If you ever watch The Fabelmans, you'll watch a little bit of this movie. Oh, speaking of, when I was talking about how I watched, I was watching the Bob Dylan movie, Complete Unknown, and I found there's a movie in my collection somewhere that they go see in it. And I think it's called maybe like Voyage Now or something like that. Let's look. Now Voyage, I don't know, but I do have it here somewhere. Where is it though? Or maybe it's called, what is it? LMN. I forgot. I tried to keep a mental note of it for today's video, but I am drawing a blank now. Let's see. Oh, it was here. Now Voyager, right here. So this, if you ever see A Complete Unknown, this movie, they go see it. Timothy Chalamet and Elle Fanning go to see it, and it gets referenced quite a few times in the film. That's pretty cool. I've never seen this, though. It was a gift. It was a gift from my friend Mike, who has a channel. We live near each other, and he has a channel on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure that's where I got that. All right, where are we at? Where did we leave off? Ghostbusters, where did we leave off? Who remembers? It was... Oh, yeah. Fabelmans, right. This movie's in the Fabelmans, From Here to Eternity. Just that classic imagery, you know, this feels a little weird. What's on here? It's almost like it feels embossed, but I don't think it is. No way. You know, the rolling in the sand, the kissing, you know, that very, very famous image there on the waterfront. You know, you could have been a contender. You were a contender, and then you won Best Picture. Then we got Marty here, one of my favorites. This is a top tenner. It might be a top fiver. I don't know. I just love it. Ernie Borgnine, he did a good job. Let's follow that up with a little bit of Around the World in 80 Days, which I just spoke about recently. Cameo City, and then The Bridge on the River Kwai. You know the song. Then we have Gigi. This one has a great set design. I really like that. Look at that. Jaws is just happening over here. And then, yeah, the set design here is very good. It's a musical. And yeah, I always kind of like that movie. Ben-Hur, very long film. And we have our, our man Charlton Heston in the film. Jesus Christ is also in it. The Apartment, nice little Christmas movie for you. Oh, speaking of, Shirley MacLaine, she's right here. And then she is also in Around the World in 80 Days, which we just talked about, which was right here. West Side Story, classic film right there. I do prefer this one over the Spielberg one. The Spielberg one I didn't connect with. Lawrence of Arabia, massive classic right there, huge scope. Tom Jones, I believe the first movie to break the fourth wall to win Best Picture right here. It's also a comedy, and there's a famous food scene in it, My Fair Lady. I always like the beginning of My Fair Lady, but the ending I start losing interest. Sound of Music, classic film, but not one I'm trying to watch all the time, but, you know, very good. A Man for All Seasons, I really like movies about the royals, so that one I'm a fan of. You know, I almost like all of these. In the Heat of the Night, classic movie there, also had a television show as well, sort of a spin-off, I guess, series, or maybe not a spin-off, but like a... I don't know, you know, like this is the movie and then they make like a TV version of it. Oliver here, this is actually one that I don't care for. I don't know, it's one where it's like you can appreciate certain things about it, and actually there's amazing choreography in it, which it was given a special Oscar for. But I don't know, it was just kind of like a, you know, I can probably say it's not like a bad movie, it's just I don't care about it. Midnight Cowboy, though, this is funny. We go from a G-rated movie right here G rated, and then an X rated. It's been reevaluated. Is that the right word? Reassigned, reevaluated, regraded. I don't know, to an R, but at one time this was an X, and then we had a G and an X next to one another. Patton right here, just that historical story right there. He really does look like Patton. Pretty good casting there. Oh man, rest in peace. Gene Hackman right here, still learning a lot about what all that is about, or slowly learning things about it. But Gene Hackman and the French Connection, I actually have two versions of this. I have this DVD collection, or what are they calling that, the 5-star collection here, and then I also have the Blu-ray as well. Godfather, so you'll notice here I have The Godfather, but all 3 films are in here, Godfather 1, 2, 3, but obviously the first Godfather is the winner here. Then The Sting, the Sting over here followed The Godfather, and then Godfather Part 2. So really Godfather Part 2 should be here, but I just keep it all housed in this little thing. I need to upgrade these though. What do you think of the 4K, everybody? The 4Ks, are they good? Should I go with the 4Ks, or are there issues or anything I need to know about? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Haskell Wexler did the cinematography for this, and I got it signed from him when I had the chance to meet him. Rocky, hello. What about a great film right there? Man, that's so good. I do wish Sylvester Stallone maybe would have gotten an Oscar win for his screenplay, because I don't know, I think that would have been cool. It's a love story. Don't think it's a boxing movie. Boxing's in it, I guess, but this is a love story. Here's another love story, romantic comedy sort of drama thing, that subverts the genre or whatever. They don't end up together. These two do not end up together. And what's also great about it is it also breaks the fourth wall. So this is the second movie to do that, if I recall correctly. Tom Jones did it, and then Annie Hall did. Deer Hunter, great film. And this one I feel like took a while for me. It was almost just like so dramatic that, I don't know, I had a few viewings that I had to do before I got it. Just that divorce story right here, Kramer versus Kramer. A lot of people think Ordinary People should not have won, and what should have was Raging Bull, but I really think Ordinary People is cool, and plus it's a snapshot in what was going on in the world right there, where mental health, people were kind of looking into that and going to see a psychiatrist, a shrink, a therapist. All of that was kind of new, and this movie sort of brought that up. I thought this said Carlito's Way for a little bit, and I was like, what on earth? Chariots of Fire right here, Christian film. You know the music, rum bum 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 ding ding, brum ba da da do, ra da 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 da, Scotty doo doo doo, and then Gandhi over here, B.E.T. And Richard Attenborough directed this, and then he kind of felt bad for winning because he thinks E.T. is the more appropriate winner. Gandhi, though, has the record, and I believe it still holds the most extras used in a single film. Terms of Endearment, this is the year that I won Best Picture of the year I won, sorry, the Best Picture of the year I was born. This one kind of took time for me to like, because I was more of a Right Stuff fan. The Right Stuff was nominated, and I grew up on that movie. My dad showed that to me when I was a kid, and I loved it, and the Chuck Yeager story and all of that. But this one's great. It's very sad though, very sad and funny and sad. Amadeus, one of my favorites. I still haven't pulled the trigger on the 4K of this, and I don't know. It's so hard for me to buy movies I already have, even if I love them and want the upgrade. Out of Africa, one of my least favorite ones. There's also some, like, what do you call that, rear projection that's really bad in this movie. Oliver Stone made Platoon. Johnny Depp is in it. Charlie Sheen is in it. A bunch of other people are in it. And I have this signed. I have it signed by Oliver Stone. Last Emperor, I remember catching this on like Cinemax when I was a kid, and I was always intrigued by it. I thought it was very interesting. So I don't know, this one has a special place in my heart. Rain Man, I was never a big fan of Rain Man. I have some friends who it's, you know, their favorite or near favorite Best Picture winner. It's kind of cold over here. Where's that coming from? I feel like a little bit of cold air coming through there. Yeah, Driving Miss Daisy right here. Probably other, there are a lot of people, you know, wish like Do the Right Thing had been a film that would have won over this one. It's what do you call that, like saccharine or like cheesy, what's the word? You know, what is the word? I can't think of the word, but what is it? Like sentimental, there you go, overly sentimental. Dances with Wolves here. I just felt like when I was a kid, this was like the biggest movie of all time. Like it just felt so massive when I was a kid. Like we even watched it in school when I was a kid. They brought it in and had us watch it, and I was like, you know, a little kid watching this movie. Then Silence of the Lambs, classic. This is, you know, probably my wife's favorite Best Picture winner. It's up there. Unforgiven, this one here, this is wonderful. And man, you know, Gene Hackman again. But this is a great, like, sort of goodbye to the Western, for Clint Eastwood, but almost the genre as well, right? Let's get serious. Schindler's List, we got a Spielberg film here. Very difficult watch, but very good film. Then we have Forrest Gump over here. And wait, is my order wrong? Did I mess something up here? I feel like I messed something up. Is this the right order? 95, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, that's right. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Where did I leave it? Braveheart. I like this one a lot. Grew up watching that as a kid. And, well, I guess, did I even talk about Forrest Gump? So I saw this in the theater and with my mom, and it was just cool that a movie that I saw in the theater won Best Picture. How cool did I feel that there was this movie that I liked, and then the Academy also says they like it. They're like, heck yeah, this is the Best Picture. And here, Braveheart, I've been William Wallace so many times for Halloween, I can't even count them all. Or anytime there's like a party that I would go to where it's like dress up as a movie character, you know I was going as William Wallace. English Patient right there. I mean, Kristen Scott Thomas, hello. My goodness, I just love her, have a big old crush on her. I just think she's one of the most beautiful people on the planet. Hey, look at that. Ole Fiennes here talking about that Conclave nomination right now that he has. Then we have Titanic, of course, one of the most massive films of all time. Saw that in the theater as well over Christmas break in 8th grade. And then Shakespeare in Love. I loved this movie, and then one time I watched it and I didn't like it, but then I watched it again and then I liked it again. How does that happen? That was weird. American Beauty, 99, one of the greatest years in cinema, and they chose American Beauty. You know, there's a lot to choose from. Should they have gone with The Matrix? I think The Matrix would have been like one of the coolest wins. But, you know, there are a lot of great 99 movies, and American Beauty, that's, you know, the little engine that could, and it did. Gladiator, this one was huge when I was in high school. Everybody was talking about it. All the bros were we were all just, you know, loving the movie Gladiator. Right here, the music, I think it's called Kaleidoscope. I think the part of the score, I think is called Kaleidoscope or something like that. Beautiful, I love it. Chicago, this is one of my wife's favorites. I like it okay, but, you know, I don't think about it too much. Then we have Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, one of the greatest Best Picture winners of all time when you consider all the different crafts that are being used here to their full potential. $1 Million Baby, it's just like a small little film after that massive film, right? I think I said this in the previous video, but Michael Pena right there, that scene, that's what really does it. And then The Departed is great as well with that, Leo and Jack Nicholson. Why wasn't Jack Nicholson nominated? I just lost it. Where did it go? Why wasn't Jack Nicholson nominated? That should have been his last nomination, right? For this? Why didn't that happen? Why? I'm very curious what was going on there. Why didn't he get a supporting actor nomination? Why was he just left to the side? It is deserving. It is so good. He is amazing in it. All right, No Country for Old Men. What do you think? Do you think No Country for Old Men should have won, or do you think There Will Be Blood should have won? Me, I was in the No Country camp. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Slumdog Millionaire. It's nice. Frida Pinto, right? Frida Pinto. Great. I would like to see her more in films again. Kind of miss her. Dev Patel. I mean, this is good. Danny Boyle. I love the editing in it. It's just good, and it's kind of like a fantasy in a way. Hurt Locker, be Avatar, the little film that could. I remember seeing this in a theater. I think I saw it at a dollar theater. Did I see it at a dollar theater? I think it was a theater that then turned into a dollar theater, because I think I maybe paid for this full price, but then later, when it turned into a dollar theater, watched Avatar for like the 4th or 5th time when it was a dollar theater. I think that's what happened. But anyway, I remember this ruined my day. There was a part of it that just felt really heavy on me as I was watching it, and it kind of gave me a crummy day. King's Speech, I really like this movie. Should the show Social Network have won? I do love The Social Network. I do like this movie a lot too. I think it gets overhated, but I get it. Social Network is amazing film. The Artist we already talked about. Argo, just your movie. What is this, a Warner Brothers movie? Who made this? Yeah, Warner Brothers. Where'd it go? Right there. No, that's Departed. I just lost my spot. There we are. Argo is Warner Brothers movie. It just feels like just an old-fashioned studio film that's going to win. 12 Years a Slave. Again, heavy subject matter here. Kind of a difficult watch with a lot of the just awful things that he had to go through. Very difficult film. Birdman right here. Michael Keaton. Hello. Very cool. I do wish Michael Keaton would have won. I think Eddie Redmayne also gives one of the greatest performances I've ever seen, but Michael Keaton does some amazing things also. If I could have orchestrated a tie, I would have loved a tie between the two of them. But the nice thing is this won Best Picture, so people are gonna see Michael Keaton regardless. And you know what? They're gonna see him again the next film that they watch, because they have to watch him in Spotlight as well, which is just great news to me. Love it. Michael Keaton getting watched. Then we got Moonlight over here. Check that out. We got Spotlight, Moonlight, and then Parasite. Spotlight, Moonlight, Parasite. And then over here, we got Shape of Water, just that Guillermo del Toro right there, giving us those monsters. And then The Green Book, made by one of the Farrelly brothers right there. You may know him from comedy, but here is a movie that is, there's some humor in it, but, it's not designed to be a comedy. Then we have Parasite right here, just an amazing film. I have the Criterion. And it's great. Look, it's still packaged though. I haven't watched this Criterion. Followed by Nomadland right here. This was not in any stores. It was basically like this movie doesn't exist, and it's very sad. And you want to talk about movies that don't exist? Coda. You can't buy Coda unless you buy it. That's this one right here. You can't buy Coda unless you buy it from Italy or Japan. This copy here was a screener copy for Academy members. I bought it online, and yeah, Coda. I wish I had Coda right here. Then we have Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I do have this epic slipcover, one of the best slips I've seen, one of the best for my money. And then we have Oppenheimer right here. Oppenheimer. And then what you're seeing is the reflection of an Oscar statue right there. Check it out. That's what we're here today for, because tomorrow are the Oscars. So we're just trying to, theme these videos to these films, acknowledge the film history here. A lot of times the best films do not win. But you know what? This is another look. You can watch the best films, the things that you think are the best films of those years. But here is another look at a group of individuals who believe that these were the best films. So, What's your favorite one? What's your favorite one out of all these? You know, maybe what's your favorite one of each decade? Because I don't want a bunch of, Rockies and Lord of the Rings and Titanics and Parasites, I guess. Just, or Godfather. Those are kind of the generic ones I feel like that everybody loves. But maybe give me one of each decade. What's your favorite winner from the 20s? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below. And what did you think of A Complete Unknown? I'd love to know that too if you saw it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.